fearful. It's there, but it's always there, right?
Yeah.
But and I just feel that whatever comes up, you know, we'll deal with it when it happens right in front of me.
Yeah.
But not worry about it in the future. So I just want to thank you so much for that. And in fact, you know, I've been encouraging many other people just to, you know, to come from the heart. Thank you. I'm just saying thank you. It was very, very useful. I really had a turning point at that last conversation. So thank you so much.
Very happy to hear that. Very good.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you still in Melbourne?
Yes.
Yes, but you changed.
Yes.
Melbourne is still the same, but you changed.
Correct.
Yes.
The only thing they did was get rid of the curfew, but it makes no difference because everything's closed anyway, you know.
Yeah,
and you can't go to other people's places, and you can't meet more than one person or two people or something, you know. It's crazy, but it's okay because wherever I go, I see these lovely hearted people. I have beautiful heart connections, and people are very keen to make some kind of deep social connection just walking in the street, you know, in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the desire to make a heart connection with another human is so strong now. People aren't so busy, and again, there is a lot of fear over, you know, somebody dying of a virus, but it's that fear is being really conjured up in the media. It's really being thrashed in the media. But I just choose not to listen to any of that now. I just deal with the people I meet in the street and the people I come across in my work and things. And it's just this beautiful heart space connection. We have a beautiful time.
Good.
I mean, yeah. So it's presence. It's presence right now, you know, with the people that I interact with. And even if there are no people, also my heart's really good. So I've actually had a great shift.
Great.
It's been really useful. Thank you, Werner. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Worthwhile.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody else who would come in? By the way, thank you, Tara, for reminding me to record. Actually, Karina, did you want to come in before, or you just said hello?
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 You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to say hello, but now, as you ask me, I might talk about the problem I have.
Can you turn on your camera?
Yes.
There you are. Hello.
Hi. Okay. I have a son. I have 3 sons, actually.
Yeah.
And my youngest son, he's 30 years old, and he's still living with me. Yes. Which means he has, next to my small house, he has a little apartment.
Yeah.
But it's very close.
Right.
And he used to, you know, he's in a kind of, I don't know in English, spätpubertierer.
Ah, yes. Late adolescent.
Okay. Yes. And so, since it's always like this, when I come back from India, for 2 or 3 months, we have a very good relationship and everything is very nice, which has to do with myself. I'm very with myself, and however he behaves, I can just leave it, you know? I just don't take it personally.
Yeah.
But then after 2-3 months, it starts to change.
Yeah.
And he's not working. He's getting money from his father.
Yeah.
And he's living at my apartment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's working for sometimes. He helps somebody or like this. And the problem is he seems to be very frustrated with himself. And so he's very many times full of aggression. And, you know, he has, even if he don't shows it really, I feel the energy.
Yeah.
And I just noted it makes me sick. I cannot anymore. And the biggest problem is that we cannot talk with each other. And myself, I I try again and again, but then he used to suddenly start with Vorwürfe, Anschuldigungen.
Reproaches.
Yeah? Genau. And then I get overwhelmed and I start to blah, 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 and I start not really scream, but I become loud, and oh, it's Werner, it's horrible. I'm at the moment I have even sometimes the feeling that's no life. I like tired of life, you know?
Yeah.
Because this situation is so, and now I know I cannot go to India next month, and I have to stay with him. And I asked him when he was in Switzerland this summer, I asked him not to come back. I told him we cannot live together like this anymore because we cannot communicate.
Yeah.
But he's here now, and he's doing like nothing happens, you know.
Here means in Spain, huh?
Yeah, at my home.
Yeah.
Which is quite our home till now.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how to handle it for myself, you know, that don't get so much. I get so involved. Even now when I talk to you, my heart is boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
So maybe can
What
you
to
say
do?
something about?
Actually, when you were telling me the whole story, you gave you already the answer.
Yeah.
The answer was there in what you said. When you come back from India, somehow you can deal with it because you don't take it personal.
Yeah.
And then somehow that detachment is getting lost on the way, and then you start taking it personal, as if it was an accusation for you, against you. And somehow the first thing, externally, I cannot tell you now you have to do with your son like this or your son like that. But the first thing you have to work on to find that detachment that you find when you are coming from India. That you learn to accept that he is the way he is, and it is not personal. It's not that he is after you. It's just his own problem that is expressing itself like this. Because he somehow doesn't know better. If you can see it from that perspective more, then at least already on the intellectual level, you may accept that, okay, if he behaves awkward, it's not because it's my fault, it's not because he is attacking me really, it's simply his own inner frustration that is coming out. Find that center in you, instead of trying to solve the situation on its own level. Try to solve the problem that is forming in your mind because of the situation. That you somehow learn to find a way that even if momentarily it takes you over and you forget and you're totally in the story, that but a moment later you may remember, and that at that time that you don't think, what can I do, how can I change the situation, but at that time you just turn your attention from what is happening, from the situation, to yourself, here, now, and you center, and you breathe, and you relax. Do that again and again and again, and you can start to develop that same detachment, staying there in your home that you used to build up when you were in India, and then gradually you lose it when you come back there and are confronted with the situation. I cannot say now tell your son go away, and it's not my business. It's the business. It's the business between the two of you. But what is more important is that you learn to be yourself. And if there comes aggression, if there comes accusation, that you are clear. It's not really something personal towards you. It's simply he can't handle himself. He can't handle his life. He can't handle the situation. And so it's coming out in that way.
Yeah.
Somewhere in his heart, he must love.
Intellectually, I know that. But it's just, it triggers him, you know.
Somewhere in his heart, he must love you. Otherwise, he wouldn't stay with you.
Yeah, in a way, sure. I mean, I love him too. And I would love to, I even would love to, that he lives here, but in harmony.
Yes.
Because, you know, this kind of aggression and all this stuff, I had all my childhood. I don't need it again.
Right, right.
Now in my old age.
But then if we meet difficult situations, then most of the time it's because exactly on those, they give us the possibility to go deeper and to learn something, to become stronger in a certain way. Become stronger by, instead of thinking, how can I change, what can I do? Whenever you catch yourself being busy with that, you just turn the attention, you center here now, and you relax and you breathe consciously. It's magic. Try. Well, you will see in a tense situation, if you have somehow the grace to remember, and you do that, the perspective immediately starts to change.
I do remember often, but the reactions on the body level,
right,
they are so strong, you know, like incredible pain of stomach, and like I even vomit sometimes.
Yeah.
It just, and I'm lost.
Right.
I mean, I do that sometimes, and I see it and I try to come back, but it's not working really. I'm too like overwhelmed.
Right.
Yeah, but I will try again.
If in between you need a break and you have a possibility to escape for a few days somewhere, you can also do that, and then come back. But you said the reaction is down to the body level, and what I'm telling you is also not to try to do just a mental acrobatic, but if you do that centering, consciously breathing and relaxing, then you do include the body level.
Okay.
It helps if you physically, then remember to relax and relax your legs. Even if your belly is paining and the strain is there, relax your legs. And then the rest of the body starts to relax. And when the body starts to relax energetically, it's having the tendency to balance out, and mentally you get calm. So it includes all the level. If you remember that magic formula, center, breathe, relax. It's the magic formula. Try again to remember.
I will. And maybe out of that relaxation, I might have the right
responses,
input to know what to do now with the situation.
Right. Maybe at that moment you need not do anything, but just let it pass. But if then spontaneously, intuitively you feel some action is needed, then you do whatever you feel you need to do.
Okay.
But the challenge for you is mainly to deal with your own reactions.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I know that.
Right. That's the piece where you are busy with. That's the piece you are on the way to learn and to get stronger and to get more profound.
Yes.
That's what we are here for. Young age, middle age, old age.
Okay.
We came here for that. We came here to learn, to get stronger, to grow, to outgrow.
Yes. Thank you, Werner.
You know, then it's then very easy to fall into that trap to think, now I don't need this kind of stuff. I don't really want this anymore. Now in my old age, I want to have a good time, and then totally resist to the fact that it is as it is. And the more we resist, the more it becomes difficult. The more
That's right, yeah.
then we are spending our energy in resisting. But if you somehow manage to accept the situation as it is, that doesn't mean that I'm not saying that the situation has to continue like this. That doesn't mean that you have to think, oh, the situation is good. Okay, something is not okay in that situation. But if you can accept that it is as it is, then you already don't spend all that energy in blocking.
Yeah.
And if instead of that you use that energy at this moment to center, to consciously breathe and relax, you will see, if somehow you manage to do that, the mood, the view, the whole way you're perceiving that situation will start to change.
Okay.
I wish you well.
Thank you, Werner.
You're welcome to tell me another time how it goes. Huh?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Is there anybody else who would like to come in?
Hi, Werner. It's Udi.
Hello, Udi.
I want to connect to the previous conversation and to raise a question about the tendencies that I feel that we are easily polarized, our thought, our ideas, our feeling, mainly in a distress situation. It's very, very obvious now in Israel during this downlock that we are situated in, that there is polarization in the society and even inside of ourselves, that we are moving from one pole to the other pole, and it's not so easy to find what we would like to call the middle way, or the calm way.
Well, it's not so much a question of easy and difficult. It's just that we learn, that we try, that we exercise and try it again and again, and gradually it will become easier. As long as we don't have the idea that we could find a way to deal with it in a neutral way, then there is no chance that we learn it. But once this idea is there, then we catch ourselves again and again and again. Oh my God, I'm totally off it, but at least we are aware of it. And then we can find ways of coming back to that neutral ground and learn to act, to feel, to think, to react from that perspective. In a moment of stress, in a moment we are overwhelmed, we may totally forget. But then once you know that you could maybe deal with situations different, sooner or later you remember. And at least at that point, we need not maintain the story, because as long as we are totally unconscious what is happening, people are in stress situation, but then after that they keep on maintaining that situation, going over it again and again in the mind, and about the emotions and about the other and me and the arguments, it goes on and on. But the moment you become aware, oh, I was completely overwhelmed there, but now I remember. Now I see what's going on. There you can let go. At least there you don't maintain the thing. And there you can find the again that ground of calmness, that neutral ground. And if you do that consequently, whenever you become aware, oh, I'm totally in my story, I'm totally off that base of peace, then bring it back. And even if you don't stay very long, that does something. And then gradually you catch yourself earlier and earlier and earlier, and eventually you also may be capable in the tense situation to relax and to be centered and keep the calm. There's no point in after that talking bad to yourself and thinking bad about yourself and oh, I lost it again. And so what? It has happened. It's already in the past. But now, when I become aware, there I'm not keeping it going. There I can step out because I'm aware of it.
So it raises a more basic question: is there is any meaning of decision making in our world?
There is absolutely nothing wrong with making decisions. Sometimes you are capable to put them into action, and sometimes you are not capable of put them into actions. But if you make a decision that you want to be conscious, then even if you lose that awareness again and again and again, but if you renew that decision, if you renew that intent, then gradually it becomes stronger and stronger, and eventually it is strong enough to be stronger than the old habits that pull you away again and again. You can make decisions all the time, but it doesn't lay in your power right now to decide how much you are successful in putting them into practice. But that's what we are here for. We try, and then we try again, and then we do it again.
So can you say a few other words about intentions?
Yes. Well, decisions and intentions are basically very similar. You can take stock of yourself and your way of feeling, thinking, acting, reacting, and you can see, okay, there are certain things, that certain patterns that keep on repeating, and invariably they always pull me into troubles, they always pull me into sufferings, and there you can really intend sincerely, honestly, this I want to get rid of, this I want to detach from. That intent will do something. It's not that once you make that intent, once that intention is there, that immediately everything will go smoothly and is changing. But still, there is a new aspect in it. And then you become aware, got me, in spite of my better intention, got me again completely. But then instead of blaming yourself, wasting time blaming yourself, you just say, okay, got me then, but here now I am, and I renew that intention, make that intention stronger until it is really more and more manifesting in the life. Intent is a powerful force, and we can use it very creatively, positively. It's, of course, it's within the manifestation. Ultimately, you are a perfect divine being. There's no need of intending anything there. The game is all about where our attention is locked, where our experience is, and that we learn to become aware what beauty is there, instead of always being totally overwhelmed and taken over by the stories. So the best intent is to really intend that you are capable of bringing your attention back to that self, to that beauty of yourself as good as you can. And then on the way you can intend about specific things, about character traits that you see, okay, this is really, it's time that I let that go, because it always creates trouble for me, for others, it doesn't help anyone. And there, with that intent, you can observe, and when it takes you over, okay, got me again, but intend it again, and gradually that intent will succeed. It's a force, and if you reinforce it again and again, then it becomes powerful.
Thank you so much. It's a great homework to do.
That's
But,
what we are here for. But I said also to Karen, that's what we are here for. There are worlds, where it's all peaceful, harmonious. It's like a holiday place, but not this world. This world is a working camp. We came consciously into it, knowing it's work. To be here, it's work. But the more, even in this world, the more we learn to settle, to get rooted in that base, in the self, in that sense of being, the more, even in this world, it becomes fun. Udyar is the... yeah.
It's very important because many in these days that I'm flooded with the experience of the fragility of life.
Yes.
It's very, very intense in this day in Israel.
Yes.
And in my work. So sometimes you really have to do this, keeping your attention and center to your center as even as a compass.
Yes.
Of the daily work of your life.
Can you, in spite of all your work, can you find every day some time where you're just quiet by yourself? Or is that not possible right now?
Yeah, it's very strange because part of this quiet is sometimes with your patients. You know, I'm doing a lot of intensive care, and my patients are not talking so much.
Yes.
But this is time of non-verbal communication.
Yeah.
And not probably, I know that I found myself very, very looking inward in those days. And it's a big experience. It's hard, but it's a big experience.
Good, great. It's good if you can find those times where you are not too busy. Because when we are always busy, it's difficult to remember. If you have those periods in between where you're not so busy, then it's easier to remember. And then you can bring more of that attitude easier also in busy times.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Hariom. Hello.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Who is this? Alfred. Oh,
Christina.
Christina.
And Uli. Oh, sorry, Uli.
Right.
You remember me?
We have met here, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Last year.
Yes, right.
Oh, this year.
This year.
Beginning of this year. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I have a question.
You're welcome.
Is the soul in me?
In you?
Is this English? No?
Okay.
English. If possible, English. Yeah.
Is the soul in me, or I am in the soul?
Actually, the soul is a tricky word because everybody is interpreting it differently.
Yes.
But
Also,
you are the soul of your soul. You are the essence of what you are. If you call that the soul, then it's neither that the soul is in you or you are in the soul, but you are the soul. But then some people call the soul like the subtle body who is going from here to there. And of course, you are the essence of that. Like you are the essence of the physical body, you are also the essence of a subtle body. As soon as there is a manifestation, you are at the center of it, at the base of it. It's not that first there is a soul and then somehow you come into it. What is coming and what has been created is that idea we have developed of ourselves as this person that we think we are. But this person is a momentary role that we are playing in the theater of this world. And this person, it has grown, it's there, and one day it will die, and this person is not going to reincarnate. It's a role that comes, it's there for some time and goes and is finished. But you are not finished. You are not this person. If you want to call that the soul, you can. You can call it the self, you can call it the soul, you can call it your true divine nature.
because it's something expanding that I find myself in this whole. Like when I come to Arunachala first time, I didn't know about Ramana or these mountains, and I didn't even saw anything. And I sat there on the balcony. But first, when I hear the holy mountains, I said I have to be there. And then I come to Arunachala, to Tiruvannamalai, and I sat on the balcony, and something happened in me. And then suddenly this explosion of comes like, I come for you to walk around and go on the mountains, and you already in me. And since then, it's something expanding and expanding. Like, it's not, I never can put in the words, because that comes this all together now, like no beginning, no end. You are in small, like in big. You are nothing and whole. Also, doesn't matter if it's name of soul or consciousness, or that's only names. But and that's then I can't grasp it. I can't explain, and nobody understands.
Right.
But I that's something happening now, like more and more, and this wholeness comes, and the mind tries to grasp,
right,
and to find this explanation where I am and what is gone. But I already expand and seeing this whole. Like that is like I am here, but I'm there. I'm in. That is like the saying no duality, and that makes sense. That is this why this formulation am. Also the soul is me, or I am in the soul, because soul is whole. Also this thing. Maybe it's hard to understand my words, but my heart is saying this what I try to put out.
Right. It's beautiful what you are telling. And you know, all the explanations that are being given, they are not really explaining, defining reality. They are given for the seeker to give a direction, but you are experiencing. So why should you wreck your brain to put names on it, to put it into boxes? Just be that you are experiencing, and let it expand beautifully, joyously. And then never mind whether people understand. If people don't understand, then maybe you better don't talk about it. And you just let your experience unfold. And you for yourself, you need not sit there and wreck your brain and think, yeah, is it yet like this, or is it like that? You know what you know what you're experiencing. Much more direct than understanding. Understanding is simply something for the mind that we somehow can settle down as a me person and think, oh, okay, I understood, I'm somehow on top of the situation. But you need not be on top of the situation. Actually, or what English means, the word understanding is a very good word because it means to stand under. And you have to be right in the middle of it, in the center of it, and you are there, and you experience it. So you need not try to find definitions, just be that and let it do its own work. You felt there like the mountain comes in you and says, I'm already in you. It's you and the mountain essentially are exactly the same thing.
And it's every time happening in silence. Normally I'm retro from
Activities.
from the world or from the people, because I feel in this silence that is the place for me, because the expression what I try to put out, that is
Don't even try too much. You get rooted in what you are experiencing, and then let whatever needs to be expressed express itself spontaneously, all by itself. You need not think, what should I give out, because it's radiating all by itself. You may remain totally isolated and it's still radiating, or you may go under people totally unknown, just go to the crowd, and what you are experiencing is radiating and influencing other people. And in conversations, if you feel it's no point in talking about it, then just be yourself and talk whatever they are talking about. And it's still flowing out of you. Don't try too much to think, what should I give out? It's radiating all by itself. It's coming out all by itself. Just be here now, relax and play. And it's doing its own job all by itself. Okay?
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you, Werner. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Is there anybody who would like to come in right now? Please come.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Sridev.
During the seeking, when there are small realization, I see how the seeker want to appropriate the experience, how you want to make it personal.
Yes.
I see finally the seeker become a finder. So how to avoid this? What to do or to not do?
Yeah, when you catch yourself that you are in the process of doing that, unnecessarily thinking about what should I do about, then when you see that this is happening, you tell yourself, oh, come on, shut up. Just be and let it happen spontaneously. And the tendency is on the way that there is always someone inside like a reporter but telling now this is happening, now that is happening, and we want then somehow to explain to ourselves what exactly is happening, and already easily think, how do I explain it then to others? And all this is not necessary. Just be the stronger you are rooted in that essential beingness, the more it's simply overflowing by itself, whether you talk or whether you don't talk, whether you do something about it or whether you don't do something about it. And when you catch yourself in the process that you see that you push yourself out of the thinking, I should do something about this, and deep down you know, no, nothing needs to be done, then you just cut it off and come back home and relax.
Yes, yes, because I see finally to what stop this recognition is to become personal.
Yeah. That recognition is personal. Well, if we want to understand it, if we want to have it in the, or what do you mean personal?
No, I fully understood that this recognition is not coming from the person. It's a recognition of the self by itself.
Right.
But when it happens, finally it becomes personal because.
So like that.
Yes.
Right. It's each one's own story. That connection with reality, you can call it self, you can call it God. You can get a lot of pointers, you can get a lot of support, but ultimately it's each one's own story, and each story is unique. No guru can do that for you. And it's becoming then your own unique flavor of that recognition, right? It's in that sense you can say it's personal. It's not of the person. The person, it depends how we are defining the person, but the person is usually what I call that ghost that we are creating and think we are. I'm like this, I'm like that. It's the whole story. And it's not of the story, this recognition. And yet you are a being. And you are the divine essence. And you are one with all that is. And yet there is something unique about you, about everyone. So it's each being has its own unique way of recognizing that oneness, that unity, that essential existence. This is essential beauty of existence. In that sense, I agree, right? It's then a personal thing. It's a unique thing. All we can do is remove the obstacles, and our teachers, your guru, can help you to remove the obstacles. But then it's like that yes has to come out of our own self, that openness and that recognition is then totally private affair. Even the guru is not interfering there. Yeah.
So when we have this kind of recognition, we should remain quiet and to don't talk about it, finally.
It's better that you rather keep quiet, because
yes. Okay.
there is as long as the tendency is there that I'm going out and I want to tell everybody, there is also the tendency that I feel very good and proud about it, and it's like we are starting to taint it. It's not that it's a top secret and you should never ever talk about, but it's better to basically not talk about. And then in certain situations it may be helpful that you feel also a response from whom you are talking to, and it's not that like you are in the tea shop and say to everybody, oh, this I experienced, this I experienced, that, then it becomes a competition and people are talking like this. Here in Tiruvannamalai, it's it's tea shop talk, that everybody is telling what wonderful things they are experiencing, and it's so obvious that it's always out of a little thing they make such big stories. Don't get into that trap.
Okay.
But it's expressing itself more and more all by itself. If there is genuinely something happening, it's simply flowing out of you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Is there anybody else who would like to come? Please come.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Nelly. Hello.
Hello, Werner. I have a question. I'm not sure that I understand clear what you say. When you say you are that what makes the experience possible, I don't understand it very clear. As I see, we always have some experience in our life. Some we feel some maybe pain, joy, or anger, so on. And I don't understand what you mean by this, and what can we do to prevent to make this experience possible? Can you tell about?
You tell the absolute truth. You cannot understand. It's not.
Yes.
Can you still hear me? Because
yes, I do.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, there was a bad connection a moment, but it seems it has passed. Okay, you cannot understand what it is that makes the experience possible. But if you think like this, that I'm looking for that which makes the experience possible, then you don't get stuck with whatever experience you have. You don't think, oh, this is now the full truth. You may have wonderful experiences on the way, but if you are aware that you are longing to be aware of that which makes the experience possible, then you don't get stuck however beautiful the experience is that you are encountering on the way. If we don't have that, it's so easy that especially now spirituality is so widely thought, Advaita is taught everywhere, and they are talking about enlightenment, and people have some experience and immediately start to the conclusion, this is what enlightenment means, and then get fooled there and get stuck there. But it's if you have experiences, if you have openings, then accept it joyfully, gratefully. But be aware, you are that which makes the experience possible. And it will be a mystery for the mind all the time. It's not that with the mind you eventually come to the point that you understand that. You are totally honest and truthful saying that you don't understand because you can't. But you are that. And you can bring the attention back to that sense of presence that you, in a way, know so well. But at the same time, you cannot understand. And yet, you know it because you are it. Like when you say, I, without a thought, without thinking of yesterday, without thinking of tomorrow, without thinking of your name, without thinking of your story, just you say, I. Immediately, there is that sense of presence. You are, at least for a moment, you are aware of that most familiar sense of presence. You cannot possibly say, I don't know it, because it's always there. It has been there all your life. All that we put on top of it changes all the time, but yet that base that we are touching, when you just say, I, without thinking, without, I'm like this, I'm like that, I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm that many years old, I was brought up there, I have these talents. Without any of that, just I. Immediately you touch something so totally familiar, and yet you cannot explain it, you cannot understand it, and yet you cannot say that you don't know it because you are it. It's always there.
Okay, Werner, thank you. I'll think about it.
You cannot grasp it. We try to grasp. Mr. Leo comes. We try to grasp and we can't grasp. Don't even try. Accept that you cannot understand. Just bring the attention in this direction of that. Connect as good as you can, as consciously as you can with that sense of presence and relax in it.
Okay, I see. It's just to be here and now, yeah?
Here and now and relax.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Werner.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Hello, Gigi.
Hari Om, Werner. How are you?
Oh, I'm quite fine, thank you. Are you still in Kovalam?
Yes.
Hello.
It's still there. Enjoying the lunch now.
Ah, good.
Yeah, just few days ago in this Facebook group, which is called Tiruvannamalai Community.
Yeah.
There was a little documentary or like a extract from the Satsang that was happening in the year 2006. And I suddenly saw you there, young, nice guy, sitting next to Sri Radhama.
Oh, yes.
So, and she looked so nice and, you know, energetic and everything. But then in the comments, there was some you know, like different kinds of attitudes towards her. So could you just share something about her, if you have something?
I'm not really going too much into that story and into the debate of who Radhama was, who she is or not. There has been quite quite dramatic stories around her and with her. I just can say no matter what happened, it hasn't changed my attitude towards her. She's authentic. I can accept that on this level, on this relative level, it was not everything so fortunate what she did there, and she herself saw that she may have made some mistakes, and somehow it was also that she wanted to neutralize those with her crazy act at the end. But it's not really the place in this satsang that I'm getting too much in all the gossip around Radha and her story. So
no, I'm not asking about the gossips. I'm just asking your personal attitude, or it looked like you were in love with her.
we were in love with each other.
Yes.
She was not my teacher. We were friends, good friends. Yeah. If you mean in love, that there is a lot of mutual love and respect, yes. If you mean the whole emotional usual story within love, no. There was nothing like that there.
What do you want to know?
No, I just want to hear, because she looks like an angel, and all these comments, they just make me feel kind of like something is wrong here. You know, people shouldn't talk like that.
Yeah, well, people are people. Then don't you talk like this? That's good.
Hari Om, thank you.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Bye-bye. There is about, on YouTube, the whole of that satsang is there in 6 pieces, I think. And it's called Fun Sang.
Okay, we'll check it up. Thank you, honey.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Okay.
Is there anybody else who would like to come in? Please come.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Lutz. Hari Om. Oh, you look like you're in space.
Yeah, my room is such a mess, so I thought maybe virtual background will help.
I see, it's a virtual background. Floating in space. Okay, that's great.
Okay, I want to ask something about rather common spiritual practice, which is focusing on the image of a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I have there several things that are kind of interesting, or kind of I'm wondering about in this context. In my own experience, it is like this, that if one really focuses one-pointed but relaxed on an image, there's some kind of energy, or it looks like there's an energy interaction between me and the image, or there's something stirred up in me while focusing on this picture. But actually, it's just a picture. The energy cannot come from the picture. The picture is just a paper and something. But still, something is going on in me, and I feel focusing on the picture is focusing. If the picture represents a spiritual person, in my mind, at least I think that I'm focusing on a template for a spiritual person. So this person is very connected with the universe, has some deeper insight about this and that. And then if I focus on that, I kind of get a little bit of the quality of this person. But still, somehow, it is mysterious to me how this works, or what is really going on. And in this context, I have also some insecure feeling, or some kind of doubt about the whole thing, because if I identify with this kind of template, then I get maybe also all the not so good things of this person. For example, in Italy, you have you have people who focus on Jesus, and they get the marks of the nails in their hand of Jesus on the cross. I mean, that's very extreme. Yeah. But in some different kind of more normal context, for example, if this spiritual teacher is sick, he has a disease, there's something wrong in his body. Yeah. And if I focus then on this image, am I not also kind of getting in some kind of disease information? Or in another aspect, which I'm sometimes also uneasy about in this practice, if this image is a woman, am I not strengthening my own kind of female aspects, and I'm forgetting that I'm a man.
Okay, shall I stop?
Yeah, I mean that's maybe just some little bit nonsense nonsense madness in my own personal mind, but yeah. Anyway, I'm putting it out.
Okay. Now, just to start with, why at all focusing on a form? Simply because for many people it's easier to focus on a form than more abstractly connect with that essence, with that divinity. And if you focus on the form of a god or a guru, then you don't really focus on the personality that you may project there, but you focus because that being is manifesting for you that unmanifest. It's like a conduit. And like the Christians who so much focus on Jesus that they finally get the stigmata, then for them it's not that they took something bad, the bad side from Jesus in there, but for them it's a great, they feel it's a great achievement and it's blissful, their stigmatic wounds and whatever is happening in context with that. I don't think we have to go that far, but as for sadhaks who are trying to open their heart to that divinity, and in the abstract way it's not so easy for them, then they may use the help of a form. Not in the sense that they separate that form from that all oneness, from that divine essence, but simply that they use that form as a portal, because that form for them in their mind is manifesting the purity of that essence. And so if that form is incidentally still also manifesting as a form in this world, the sadhak who is focusing on that form need not be afraid, oh, if I'm focusing on that form, then maybe all the diseases and everything that is happening in that body over there is going to flow over to me, because if that focus is pure, and you focus because you see something divine, then it's really with that divine aspect that you are connecting. And if, incidentally, as a man, you look at the form as a woman, manifesting that divinity, if it helps you to develop your own female aspects, then there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. We all are equally, actually, female and male. And often for men, we have totally underdeveloped our female aspects. And so if that helps us, that as a man you look at the image of a woman, but not with the usual lusty thoughts, but with the idea that this woman is representing the divinity, the female aspect of divinity, and it helps you to develop your own female aspect, that they come into a harmony. Then there is, from the spiritual standpoint, absolutely nothing wrong with it, because you become aware you are female, you are male, you are neither female, you are neither male, you are way beyond all that, and you are all of that. And even if you are manifesting as a man now and you can play the role of your man, it's not that somehow that role is going to suffer because of that. It's just like a help, a gateway for a mind to make it easier to focus, because it's not for everybody easy to ask, for example, who am I? Or simply stay with that sense of I am. Or more in the traditional sense, just focus on Brahman, the formless, timeless, spaceless, birthless, deathless. It's totally abstract for the mind. For some people, this is perfectly well to do so. For other people, this is not easy. And then it helps if there is a form. If somebody, a devotee, focuses on Shiva, then it's not that somehow we are separating Shiva away from that one reality, but simply become aware, okay, Shiva is representing that both personal and the impersonal aspect of existence. And for me, it's easier to connect with that sense if I open my heart to Shiva, or Devi, or Krishna, or Jesus, or Buddha, or whatever. And so as often disciples, they focus on their guru, but not on a personality that is there because the guru is representing, like the gods, for them, that divinity. It's easier to focus for many minds, and it's easier to open the heart for many minds. For others who don't feel attracted to it, this wouldn't work. It's not for everybody. If somebody feels I don't want to have anything to do with forms and somehow doesn't feel good about it, then it's most definitely not the way to go about it. But if that comes naturally, then there is nothing wrong with making use of that natural tendency as a help to connect with the essence, as a help to open the heart.
Okay, there's one more thing in this context, not exactly the same thing, but when somebody wants to call me up on the phone, I often receive a kind of an image of this person, or I'm spontaneously thinking about the person for no apparent reason, and then a few seconds later he calls me up. So the moment he has thought about me, somehow it has reached me and it stirred up something. If I'm, for example, angry with this person, I might suddenly also feel anger about this particular person, and then he calls me up. Somehow it has triggered something that he put his focus on me.
Right.
So I'm wondering what all the big gurus are doing, because
What all that?
The big gurus,
how I
how
see.
they kind of deal with this thing. For example, if somebody, I think, puts a picture on from them and focuses and cries their heart out and everything, and if they are now big gurus, that means thousands of people all over the earth do that. How
Yes.
they can manage? I mean, I'm not super sensitive. I'm not a kind of a super spiritual person, but I can kind of feel the energy of some people kind of directing it at me. But what these people are doing when thousands literally simultaneously kind of focus on them, how I mean, it must be kind of a cacophony in their mind. I don't know how they experience that. Can you say something about it?
It doesn't matter, because there is the detachment from it. As long as I, as a person, attached to my self-image, and I communicate with other person, and then maybe we have a fight, we both are angry, and we go, and from both comes that current of anger that goes to the other, and mutually we kindle that, because there's always again we are tuning in and get attached to it, and then the thought, in that context, the thought comes, how can a guru deal with thousands of people doing that? Why? Because there's not that attachment to the me personality. And then it's there, but actually the more you become aware that you are connected to everything, the more you become aware this cacophony is going on all the time. I mean, the human mental sphere is something formidable. It's unbelievable. But if the detachment is there, then you don't feel that you are being oppressed by it. And so the same thing, even if many people direct their energy, their passion, their anger, their love, their devotion, whatever, to a guru, it's their part of that whole human mental sphere, and they are free to tune into aspects of it or not, according to they want, as they want.
So it's still, I mean, it's all inspiring. I mean, I'm not living in this kind of expanded consciousness or in this clarity to perceive everything like the way you are describing it, but it's I don't know what to say. How can one live? It must be something like an orchestra all the time playing or something.
But I mean, we all live in the midst of that. And for most of us, for a protection, there are all these barriers of perception that we are not aware of it. That doesn't mean that we are not swimming in the midst of all that, of all what people thinking, feeling, all the emotions, all the radio emissions that are going through the space. We are always walking right through the midst of all this. Fortunately, for most of the people, we are totally unaware of it, because otherwise we would go stark crazy. But the more that the awareness is getting subtle, the more the strength is also increasing. It should. Sometimes spiritual people come and tell me, oh, I'm getting so sensitive, I cannot more go out on the road because I'm getting so much influenced by all the energies. But it's only because they like that thought that it's a sign of my spiritual development, and then support that. feeling, oh, I can't bear with that anymore, oh, instead of simultaneously with the increasing sensitivity become stronger. And how do we become stronger? By being centered in that timelessness of the now, prior to space, prior to time, prior to all that orchestra that is going on. And the more you are centered in that, the more you relax in that, the more you become transparent. And then all that stuff that just flows through and it doesn't leave a trace. And the more we are creating walls, the more it's affecting. And then when people getting more sensitive, then they should not dwell on their sensitivity and be afraid of what is going on there, but remind themselves to be here now, to connect with that essence some way or other and learn to relax in it. And the more we are capable to relax in it, the more that strength is there to deal with all those influences. But not only gurus, I mean popular people, movie stars, they're also getting all that barrage of the people's emotion. Some hate them, some love them, people are crazy about them, but somehow they have their protection, being not so much aware of it, but still it's reaching them. And many of them also cannot really deal with it and get a bit off the rock. But they also get some kind from the subtle levels, they get help. If somehow they serve a certain purpose in the whole constellation of the society, then they get also the support from subtle forces to deal with all that energy that is pouring into them. But gurus, they don't need special supports because they can deal with that. They can deal with the whole universe because they know at the same time it's not as real as it appears. It's a magic show, and if we don't get attached to the details of this magic show, then no matter what energies are there, one can deal with them. Okay, is that question, I mean, it's not totally answered, I know, but that's as much as I feel like it's useful to say here.
No, I think that's especially what you pointed out in the last, that sensitivity is not all, that you must also balance out this sensitivity with the power to deal with the more energies you feel and sense. I think this is a very important point.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you, Lutz, for your input. Hariom, Hariom. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? We have a little more time if we want. You're welcome. Maybe I just come back to this point we have to now discussed with Lutz right now at the end. I have seen it many times that sadhaks, when they seekers, when they get more sensitive, they have difficulties to deal with it. But it's then a trick of the mind that one thinks, oh, because I see I'm sensitive, so that means I'm progressing spiritually. And then instead of learning how to deal with it, they rather support that thing, support the weakness, support the incapacity to not be able to deal with it until, and then think, if I cannot more go in this place, if I cannot more go in that place, that is a sign how spiritually developed I am. And if one does that more and more, it can really lead to a very bad situation that somebody is so afraid that they are not more daring to get out of the room and get really nuts about it. So it's, of course, a sign that something happens if the sensitivity is increasing. But if we are at the same time getting weak because of it, then this is a sign that something is badly missing. And simultaneously, with that increasing sensitivity, we can become stronger. And we can become stronger the more we are capable to remain at ease, at peace, no matter what influences are there. And this we learn by consciously opening up to that, and not think, oh, I should be spiritual, I should be sensitive, I should not more be able to deal with these people and those people and go on that place. But no, we don't have to go and push ourselves, go to places where we don't feel well if it is not necessary. But life will always bring situations where we have to deal with circumstances that are not very subtle. Or even if we are not in those circumstances, as Lutz has pointed out, we think of each other and already we are connecting with each other, we are influencing each other. And as that sensitivity grows, we need to become stronger. And we become stronger by learning not to take me, the person so important and the show that I'm making and the role that I'm playing, but bring the attention back to the self. Step out of time and space in that timelessness of the now and learn to relax in it. And the more you are capable to relax into that simple beingness, whether you do that abstractly, whether you do that by connecting with a form of God and feel that divine presence more and more, by focusing on that form, it doesn't matter, but what matters is that we can connect with that and relax in that no matter what is happening. And so the strength is increasing simultaneously with the sensitivity, and it doesn't create a problem. It doesn't create an imbalance. So we are very well instructed not to make a big show, how sensitive, how advanced we are because of sensitivity, but learn to be here now strong and relax in that sense of presence. And then that strength is increasing. And so then also Lutz's question, how can a guru deal with all that is being sent to them? From a guru who has many devotees, they keep on sending so much energy, positive energy, negative energy, sometimes they are angry, sometimes they are in love. Because at the same time, with the awareness of all that energy that is there is that strength, that awareness that there is an aspect, there is something that is absolutely not touched by them. And if we get rooted into that, then the sea can be very stormy, but there is still that silent ground that is not affected by it. And it's not only for the gurus, but on the way, we can learn more and more to connect with that. And then even if we start to become more and more aware of subtle influences, and sometimes it's not very harmonious what is happening, being aware of that aspect that is not affected by it makes us strong, that we can deal with it without getting pushed off the balance. Become sensitive, by all means, my friends, but become strong at the same time. It's more important to develop that strength and then the sensitivity can come in its own course. We don't have to make big exercises trying to develop sensitivity. It comes at the right time, it comes in its own way, and it's different in everybody's story, how this is developing. All right, I think I'm stopping for today the satsang, the official satsang. Going to turn off the recording. Where is my thing? Here.